Welcome back to Color Class. I'm Sarah, and in today's video, we are looking at, do you look better in pure white or a creamy off-white shade? And I'm going to give you some tips on how to tell. Now, a lot of you just go into the store. White is a very readily available option, and I feel like a lot of people just go towards it. That and black. But I'm going to show you what happens. Someone like me who is soft, slightly leaning a little bit warmer, especially today, what happens in white. And I just want you to go ahead and grab two fabrics, one that might be slightly off-white, maybe a creamier color, versus a pure white. Now, I feel like a lot of you have like that classic white button-up in the back of your closet. I know I do because I have had to bust it out on a few occasions. I don't want to talk about it, but just grab some type of white fabric that you can and do a little bit of draping with it. Now, I know we have totally gotten weird on the show where we've grabbed like shopping bags or any type of object with color on it. So you can get creative too, like a white piece of paper, anything along those lines will work as well. All right, so I'm grabbing my pure white. You know what? This isn't like crispy as I want it, but it's a pretty good representation of pure white. Now I'm going to drape this across, and you can kind of see how my skin tone goes a little bit gray in this. I'm not as lively as I would like to be. So that's one of the ways that you can tell. Just around my face, in my cheeks area, it goes a bit gray. Also my hair, it looks a little bit drab, a little dusty. So I want to stay away from that as well, because remember, this is like a pure cool white, so it's shifting my hair from being warm to a cooler tone, which is then making it look a little bit ashier. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my cream. Now this cream is a little bit deeper. It's a little bit heavier than I would like, but for the purposes of being on camera, I like to go a little bit more intense so I can show you guys the differences. So here we have our pure white that's on me right now. Now watch what happens when I switch over to a creamier white. I'm going to put my hair out in front as much as I can so you can kind of see the difference in my hair as well. So we have the cream, and then look what happens when I drop to the pure white. Do we see the difference that's happening? This warms me up a lot. It kind of brings harmony back to my hair and my skin tone. Now, of course, my eye color is on the coolish side, so it's not going to do as much to my eye color, but for skin and hair, you can see how this reflects back to this. I just go gray in this. I lose that warmth, the richness, the vitality to my skin. I really encourage you to grab whatever you have, whether it's pieces of fabric, whether it's, your husband's clothes, whether it's shopping bags, tissue paper, anything, plates, anything you can think of, grab it. Color analysis, you don't need like these fancy drapes of fabric. You can use anything. Today, I was explaining, I was at the gym with a group of my friends that we work out together with, and I was saying about color analysis, and we've been talking a lot about it lately, and they've been starting to pick up on it, and there's some guys that I work out with in the group, and I'm like trying to explain, like that color gray, it's going to shift your skin tone a little bit grayer because you have slightly warmer skin tone, but if you hold up like this, like I'm handing him a 45-pound plate, and I'm like, hold up this plate to your skin tone. Do you see how you have that reflection? Now you're shifting a little bit brighter and clearer. And some of the guys are like, yeah. So literally anything works, and it's so much fun to do. Draping is my favorite way to really show the differences. Some things to check for: natural lighting. If you are a cooler skin tone, that crisp clear white is going to look slightly better than something creamier. But if you are a summer, for instance, a rose beige is going to look pretty good. So I'm going to show you rose beige versus crisp white versus that cream we were using. So you can see the differences in these three shades. So don't get confused if we're looking at cream versus a clear white and then you pull out a rose beige and it looks good on you and you're thinking, oh, this is warm. No, rose beige is actually cool. I grabbed some other, like a soft white is pretty neutral. If you're looking at the 6 dominant characteristics, everyone can wear it. So be careful of that as well. That's why I like to do extremes. I like to do, very pure crisp white white versus a, a deeper, richer cream to really get the differences going. Now, if you are on the cooler side, if you are summer or a winter and anywhere in between those, like a soft winter, a clear summer, anything, you are going to be looking a little bit better in the pure white. Versus if you are autumn or spring, you might be looking a little bit better in the warmer white. And those are really the key differences between. Now, I know cream is a little bit harder to find. I feel like we're getting better about it in the industry. Out shopping, you are starting to see a little bit more beige. Now, I do want to go ahead and talk about our neutrals out there. If you're looking for something in between, maybe a pearl or a bone is going to look best on you. If you're a neutral and you go a little bit warm, it might shift you a little yellow. If you go cool, it might shift you a little gray. So if neither of these are really working for you, you might be in between at a neutral with a pearl or a bone or something along those lines, just to kind of get that in between. That would be more of your soft white that we were talking about. So soft white versus clear white. You can see how this one's a little bit different. And then you have your cream. So you can kind of see the differences of a soft white and a pure clear white. And it's nice to have, like, if you're out shopping, it would be really hard to make distinctions of this versus this. So I would recommend like keeping something that's a little bit pure white, or a piece of paper, or being able to compare right next to it to see where does this fall. Is this like a crisp, clear white button up, or does this fall a little bit softer, maybe a little bit more delicate with texture? Things like that can help soften a look as well. So now it's your turn. I want you to go find whatever you absolutely can. I happen to be like eyeing this journal I have over here, and the paper is off white. I was like, oh, that would work as well too. So anything you have out there, do some comparing, contrasting between the two, flipping back and forth, seeing what lights you up. Be careful if you are cooler and you put on something warm and you're like, ooh, this warms up my skin tone. Make sure it's not shifting you yellow, because that could be shifting you out. Even though you might be thinking, this is making me look a little bit more meridian, it actually could be making you look a little bit more yellow. So I do see that common mistake. So just be careful of that as well. Now, if you are having trouble at all, feel free, come on over to the Color Class Inc. website, and we'll be happy to help you out. You can do a color portfolio with us. You can also download some digital guides. We would love to have you. We also have our Patreon. If you have any questions, we have a ton of really great color analysis there that you can ask anything and everything under the sun. We would love to talk it through. So thank you for being here today. I'm Sarah. We should have Lucinda back very soon, and we'll see you in our next video.